Welcome back to another one of my videos, and I think to start off today's video, I'm actually going to open with a prank. So let's see how much damage I can really do here. Okay, I think we have the beginnings of a prank here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish filling this up, and then I think I'm going to introduce some wildlife into here. And now for the finishing touch on the prank, just got to get this guy in there. And he does not want to seem to get into the water, and this is actually, I did this before, and this is how I lost him. He got stuck on this corner. Man. And here we go. Don't tell me he's gonna die at the door. There we go. We now have a fully functioning, oh, I don't like that. We now have a fully functioning aquarium in here, so let me just place this glow lich in there. I think it looks kind of quite good, actually. Well, that was quite a start to a video, but if you are a new viewer here, welcome. If you are a returning, welcome back. So for today's video, I think we should be building probably more farms over back at my mega base, because that's something I really want to keep working on, and I think it will really come out nice once it's all finished. So I think for today I will try to build several food farms, because although the prices on villager food is pretty good, it's a bit of a scam, really. I have to pay an emerald for 4 apples. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, why not just grow some myself? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up probably 3 to 4 different kinds of farms, starting probably with just a basic wheat farm over at my mega base. So let me get started on that. So here's where I'm going to start building the food farms, and this may have just been a quick transition for you, but for me it's been a couple days. And the worst part about it is I built all of this just because there wasn't enough land to build a food farm with villagers without breaking my iron farm, and it's hollow, so a single creeper can completely destroy this whole island. But it's okay, it's pretty well lit up. So as you can see, I do have a villager farm over here, and it's working. I'm just waiting for more villagers just because I need more villagers. I don't have that many. So as you can see, they're just breeding up, getting enough villagers to fill up part of the farms. But while they're doing that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a melon and pumpkin farm. And as you may remember from my last world before this, I did have one of these, and it worked very well, considering it got me a lot of pumpkins in a very short amount of time. So let's get that going. Before I showed you guys the melon and pumpkin farms and got working on that, I decided I'd show you, just for scale, how big this whole farming place is going to be, and here's just the base of it. So essentially it's going to be a same or similar design to over there, except with farms instead of iron farms. And yeah, this thing is very, very big, and it's gonna cost a lot, especially with glass and materials like that, but I'm willing to spend that much if the end result is cool. So basically this is how big it's gonna be. That's really all I had to say. I am gonna start working on the farms once I finish the bottom floor, because this is gonna be like the lobby where you collect all your items. I was going to build this off camera, but I had a change of heart, so let the montage begin. Alright, so this is the first floor of the whole automatic farm tower that is going to be going over here. It's pretty simple. We've got some tough walls mixed with some andesite, and blue windows to carry on with the theme that is carried in the iron farm. But basically, as you may notice, there are absolutely no farms in here. There's no pumpkins, tomatoes, carrots, none of that. There's no farms in this farming facility, I guess. And the reason is because this floor isn't actually going to carry any farms. It's going to act as a sort of lobby with some cool redstone contraptions that show off some of the farms and where I can actually collect the materials from the farms. So where the farms are actually going to go is they're going to go a couple floors up. So for example, this floor up here that I've marked out by one line is going to be a pumpkin farm. The floor above it is going to be sugarcane. Floor above it is going to be vegetables like carrots, potatoes, stuff like that. And so that's pretty much going to be the farming tower. So one thing that I did notice is I'm going to need a lot of resources like glass, glowstone, even blue dye. And so what I decided to do was actually I'm going to catch, as you can see by my inventory, I'm going to catch 3 villagers over there and make them a librarian, cleric, and another librarian. That way I could get infinite glass, glowstone, and even blue dye. So let me skip over to night. What the heck? I didn't even know these guys can leave the water. Anyways, okay. Anyways, as you can see, it's a pretty rainy day, and I have caught myself 2 zombie villagers, which we'll have to do. I was hoping for 3, but this is the best that's going to happen, especially since these guys nearly died on multiple occasions. And so let me cure those guys, and I guess tell you about what I've been doing other than catching zombie villagers. So basically, as you may be able to notice, I've just been patching little errors that I made throughout the whole build, I guess. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish doing that and wait for these guys to cure. That way, when I get back to filming, everything should be straightened out. This is my finished installation to this first part of the mega base, the crop part, and it's looking pretty good. As you can see, I fixed all the errors because that side was lopsided and there was an odd gray stripe going through there, and so I fixed all that. It's all back into ship shape, I guess you could say. Sadly, I did cure a 3rd villager, and I even checked these ones. Neither of these, plus the librarian I have back there, they don't sell glass, at all. And that's upsetting, so now all my glass is going to have to come from sand, which is something I'd prefer not to grind. But it's a start. I would continue on my mega base, but I'm going to do something else, because as of today, we just got somebody else that joined, literally right now. Joined while I was working on my villagers. His name is Ryder, and he's been playing over there. I think he has a little base a little bit further on the guidance tree. It's over here. I think I could see it. He's underground right now, but I'll probably introduce you guys to him, and well, technically just introduce him and help him a bit on a starter base, because I feel like that would be fun, and I'm really good friends with him. So this is Ryder and his base. It's looking pretty good, and I think we could just help him fix it up a bit, right? Yeah. So I'm going to continue helping him with this, and then we'll show you the finished result. Alright, so this is his finished base, and it looks pretty good. He's still finishing up little details here, like a little wall to keep monsters out and stuff like that, and inside's pretty simple, with a nice basement and just other functionality, and from the outside it looks great as well. So I think I've stalled for a bit too much time, and I think it's about time I got back to actually creating farms in my farming building. So the first farm I want to create is actually a pumpkin/melon farm, and this one is going to be a different model than the one, or at least I'm going to try to make it a different model than the one I used in my previous world, just so it's a bit different and a bit more interesting. So I think I should work on that, and then after that I will tell you about the other farms that are going in that building. So this is the finished pumpkin/melon farm, and it's pretty simple. It's essentially the same as my last one, except it's upside down so that it can fit in a wider area. And so basically the stem updates, the pistons fire off, and the melons are caught. Pretty simple. There is going to be a hopper system soon, but sadly I just don't have enough pumpkins or the iron to supply that. So what I'm actually going to do is I need to AFK my iron farm before I continue working on this farm and the next farm, which is going to be sugarcane. So I will AFK there for a little while just so I could catch up on my iron, and then I'll fix my pumpkin farm up so that it's working, and fill it with some pumpkins and melons, and that's really it. Then I'm going to move on to the sugarcane farm.
One eternity later.
Alright, so this is my completed melon and pumpkin farm, and yes, I know there's like a million other more efficient ways of getting the same result. This one is pretty big. I mean, like, it can produce a lot of pumpkins and melons just per hour, I guess you could say. As you can see, I've just hooked up a collection system, and they're working pretty well. It took me a little while to get this all finished, just because there was a lot of errors, considering I'm pretty short on resources right now, and I had to make it as cheap as possible. That's why sometimes the rails are slower than they should be. Plus, I also can't power it from the bottom due to the fact that that's a floor underneath. But besides that, this is looking pretty good. I mean, it's all finished. This is the first of the automatic farms, and like I said, it's working perfectly well. And so the next thing I am going to do is build a sugarcane farm directly on top of this. But I think before I do that, I should probably design the building first and complete that. So let's get started on that. Sorry, I just entered a raid and I completely forgot to record, so I'm kind of in the middle of it here. This is like the third or fourth raid, and like third or fourth round in the raid, and it's going pretty well. I mean, I've killed a couple enemies, and nothing severe has popped up other than a Ravager, but it's been going well. So I'm gonna keep doing this until an evoker shows up. The raid's over. I recorded multiple times, but it just kept breaking, so. First prototype of the sugarcane farm. It's pretty similar to the last one I used in my last couple of worlds, and really the only key difference is it's a lot bigger than the other ones. That way I could collect more, and also it's a bit more efficient for hopper minecarts. So I'm gonna essentially create copies of this and move it all along the edge, and then that will be essentially just the sugarcane farm. I did it again. Okay, it's okay. This one's by my base, so I guess I have the advantage. So, I guess I'm getting more totems. They spawned in my... they spawned in my farms. This is gonna take some... I'm gonna need to fix this up a bit. Well, that was a close one. I was just minding my own business, killing mobs at nighttime before getting to work on my sugarcane farm, and a second raid popped up, so that was probably because I killed a illager over there and then came over here to trade. Now I think back, it's probably not the best thing I could have done in that situation. But the good news is I got 2 totems now, so it doesn't look like I'm dying anytime soon, so that's good. As for the farms, I've got a couple more rows on the sugarcane done, but I think I should probably, you know, keep going on that, but yeah, there's no but. I can't make any more excuses. Well, let me finish this then. Farm it, and it's working really well. I don't have the profits on hand, but that's just a brief glimpse of the farm, and I just emptied this one, and I don't think it's refreshed at all. So basically, it's the same design as I used in my last world, and it's just observer updating pistons after sugarcane grows, and that causes the sugarcane to be harvested. It's not the best looking because dirt was the only block I had on hand that I could use a lot of, but it does work, which is something I am happy about. Now the next farm I'm going to build is a wheat farm directly on top of this, and this one's going to be interesting because it's actually going to require a villager, so let me go grab one of those. The wheat farm is over there, and it's all finished, And so now what I need is the villager to go inside of it, and I've decided this guy is the perfect villager just because he's already a farmer, and he's pretty accessible in the village. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this guy using a boat, and just push him across like the water area here, and basically I just got to get him all the way over there. From there, I don't know what I'm going to do. Okay, so now that he's at the farm, I genuinely don't know what to do, because, as you can see, he's trying to escape, and where is my... what the heck? So basically, now I have to get him up there, and I don't know how to do that because he's currently running away from me. So, let me work on that. And he died. He faced through the wall and just died. Okay, let me figure out a better way of doing this. So I got him in the farm, and it was like really difficult. I ended up having to build a bubble elevator to force him up here. But the bad news is I think the farm is broken, because he's not supposed to be picking up the wheat, but he is. And I tried filling his inventory up with seeds, and it's still not working. So I'm just gonna have to wait a bit on this, and hopefully it sorts itself out. But now what I'm gonna have to do is actually shift over to the farms above this, which is gonna be wheat, or not wheat, sorry, beetroots, carrots, and potatoes. So let me go get the plot out for those. Potato farm, and I'm sure you've seen this model just around. So basically, this farmer wrecks all the potatoes, he carries them over to this regular villager, and he throws it in there. It's pretty simple. All the potatoes are unloaded into that hopper, which none of the potatoes have grown up yet, so he hasn't given that villager any. And up here, the carrot farm is the exact same model, just with carrots instead of potatoes. And so, now before I end off today's video, there is something I want to show you. So let me get over to that. So obviously, that was the last farm in the tower. And really, it's the end of the video now, but this whole time while I've been farming, I've also been killing animals as I was going around, just so I could collect their meat and drops. And this is more than enough food that I'll ever need. No, hardcore world, actually, I need that. So really all of this has been kind of pointless. So, yeah. Well, that's all I have for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.